Hey,
Thanks for
Hedge.
doing this. You guys are only 14 games into the season. It probably feels a little bit longer considering all the stuff you guys have had to deal with off the ice. In saying that, how do you guys keep this thing from sliding off the rails a little bit and keeping the focus where it needs to be?
Well, I think you just trust the group. I think we've done that anytime we faced any kind of adversity or anything that's gone on. You just have a trust within the room that we're going to refocus and worry about what matters. I think for what it's worth, I think a lot of it is talked about by you guys. In our room, we're talking about trying to win games. So I mean, I understand you guys have lots to write about, but for us, we're streamlined on how we're going to get better as a group and winning hockey games, and that's all that really comes into play in our room.
Would you at least, I guess, kind of agree that there's been a lot of stuff that you guys have been through so far in a short amount of time?
Yeah, no, I mean, this has been a weird year for everybody. So I don't really see how it's a lot that we've gone through. We've had, some instances that have gotten probably blown out of proportion. And then we also had a surprise with Mikko retiring. I mean, that's probably the biggest shock to anybody. And we're so happy for him. So otherwise, man, we're trying to get better as a group and win hockey games. And I think if anything, we want to get to our game. That's our focus. That's probably the most disappointing part is that we haven't played as consistent as we'd like. And we're trying to figure that out. And, I think for us, it's just a lot of new faces and trying to get everyone gelled. But I think we feel really confident about where we're heading. Another good day of practice today and a great opportunity against a team we already faced to go into their barn and get some wins.
Yeah. Last thing I have for you is, you know, um, Patrick was just in here, and I said the same thing to him. I think the thing that gets the most attention here is that whatever happens on Monday, it was only 4 games into his tenure. I mean, if that happens 2 years into his career here, it's probably not as big of a deal. Um, did you feel the need, like you needed to kind of talk with Patty a little bit and basically just explain how Torts is and things like that as the captain?
Well, I think he figured it out pretty quickly, obviously, and telling them that this is our standard here. This is how we go about our business. This is why we've been a successful team for a lot of years. So it's never personal, and it's just the way it works here. And I think it works well. A lot gets talked about outside the room that people don't really have a clue what goes on in our room. So I laugh, but it's every guy is a standard. There's a culture here that we are pride ourselves on having, and it's something that you go through and then you move past it, and that's what we're done. We're worried about winning hockey games, and that's part of it, and that's growing as a group. And like I said, we have a lot of trust in the core that's in here to get us going in the right direction. That's our focus right now.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks, Edge.
Next, we'll go to Aaron Portzline. Go ahead, Aaron.
Thank you, Glenn. Thanks, Nick. Both Tortorella and Laine both said we're ready to move past this. I think in order for that to happen, the right things needed to be said or needed to be handled the right way. How encouraged are you that Patrick seemed to handle it the right way and to enable you to move on?
Well, I think you got to give Pat credit, first of all, because he's a lot smarter than, and a lot more in tune and understanding and competitive than I think people sometimes give him credit for. So I think he knew and understood what was going on. And then you move past it because we're professionals. We're not in the business of hurting people's feelings. This is a job we have to do. We're trying to win hockey games. So, I think everyone's hypersensitive and haven't had lots to write about for a year now. And, the Luke story gets a lot of attention but this is who we are. This is what we are as a team. And I think Patty understands that and now has gotten a good dose of who we are and is ready to jump right in and be a part of it. And I think that's what you want. You want a guy to maybe sometimes you have to go through something like that early on so we can just continue to roll as a team here and get moving forward. So, I think we all handled it well. And like anytime anyone has, I said, I've been benched, multiple guys have been benched. You move forward as a pro and you get better and you learn from it. And great day of practice today. And we're excited to get going in Chicago.
And it's easier. The old adage is true, I guess, in this case too, that it's easier to live with something that happens in the heat of the moment through passion rather than a player that's not engaged, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I want guys that care. We've said that. We want guys who want to be here. And Patty definitely wants to be here and, is excited about his opportunity he has here. So whenever you can mix that with the addition of Jack and the way he's playing and all the new faces. I mean, Max is, I think, starting to get his footing too. And we're excited about where we're heading. I mean, we like we talked about, we haven't found our game quite yet, and we're still in the hunt of it all. And I think that excites us that we can get on a roll here and be a real dangerous team as we get going.
Nick, I know you were really looking forward to playing and really leading beside Mikko Koivu. That decision yesterday, he made it from the right place. It sure sounds like. How tough was that for you to hear, or how happy are you for him to go out on his own terms?
Yeah, selfishly, I'm bummed out because I was just really looking forward to playing with Mikko and learning from him. Obviously, a guy that I've respected from afar, and knowing what he was like with my brother and how highly Marcus spoke of him, I could see it right away. When he got here, just the way his professionalism, the way he is in the room, the way he commands things, and the respect that he has. He was a guy that I was really excited to get to know. And even in the short time, I feel privileged to have become good friends with him. It's amazing when you get around people like that, how quality they are. And that's Mikko Koivu. So, his legacy is, I think, cemented in this league as one of the better players, one of the better people. And it's a privilege to play against him and with him. And we are just so thrilled for him. Like when you look back on his career, it's a hell of a one, and what he's accomplished, and what he's been able to do in this league and the people he's touched along the way. I mean, you never hear a bad thing said about him, except when you're in the face-off circle with him, you hated him. So, that's the type of guy. I think he's really proud of his career. I'm sure, thrilled to go back and be with his family, especially under tough circumstances like this. And we're so proud to have been able to call him a teammate and have him part of this organization, and excited to see what's next for him.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks.
Okay, next we'll go to Dave Metzel. Go ahead, Dave.
Thanks, Glenn. Thanks, Nick. Through all of the stuff going back, 2-3 years, whatever, the strength of this team has come from the room. Do each one of these things that you guys have to deal with strengthen that, especially with you, Seth, Cam, Boone, the guys who've been leading through all of these crazy things that we cover?
Yeah, I mean, I guess for us, it just doesn't seem that crazy. I think it's just part of growing as a team and getting better. And, it's what do we stand for? What is it that us as players and us as an organization want out of our players and out of our staff and who we are as a team on the ice? And I think anytime, and you ask anybody about the Blue Jackets, they're a hardworking, committed team. And so sometimes you're going to have those growing pains along the way where guys want in, out. You're going to have to teach what it is that we stand for. And so for us, it's just part of our room and how we go about our business here. So yeah, I'm proud that we have a room that trusts each other, that knows what we want out of each other. And now it's about, taking that next step though here. And in a difficult year, haven't been able to do much outside the rink, and how close of a group we are. We got to find our footing now with the new faces and get going as the team that we expect to be. And that hard-nosed, that almost predictable team where you come in and you're going to have a hard night when you play us. So that's what I want to see now out of us. I mean, all the other stuff you guys get to talk about, it's not a big deal in our room. We're trying to find our way through, some new faces and some guys in different roles now that have taken on bigger roles and what's expected of them. And as we go along here, I think we're starting to see us slowly find that, stability that we've been looking for. And we're excited to put that into Chicago.
But Nick, wouldn't you say the roots of that success are in that room and the way you deal with stuff, and then you take it out on the ice and play better as a unit because there's no fractions in there that can sometimes get away from a team?
Well, that's why I think it's so important that we address things right away, because then everyone has their say or understands the standard and what we're trying to build here, and then you move forward. There's no time wasted on it. There's no talking behind backs. It's this is what's expected. It's black and white, and I think that's what guys come to respect about our team. And so I fully expect that of our group all the time. And as soon as you get away from it, you've completely lost your culture or what your standards are. And we're not a team about to do that with how many gains we've made along the way here. So we're looking to become a better team, and this is part of that. And we know there's more in that room to get out of guys, and we're excited about putting that forward here.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks.
Okay. Finally, we'll go to Mark Scheid. Go ahead, Mark.
Thanks, Lynn. Hey, Nick. Just wanted to get your thoughts on the new protocols that the league put in, like from the virtual meetings to the no glass to you have to arrive later at the arena. Has that been a big adjustment for your team early on?
Not really. We all know Zoom. We didn't know anything about it a year and a half ago, but now we all are pros on it. So it's no different having to sit on a Zoom call than it is on a meeting. And honestly, it's stuff that really at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. We still get to play the game. We still have to find a way to be ready. And so you can either focus on all these new protocols and how it changes, or you can just adjust and adapt like everybody is doing in the world and find a way to get the job done. So to me, it's pretty simple. It's really not that hard of stuff to adjust to. And we're pros and we'll figure out a way. Our routines, we have routines, but we can change them at any moment and do what needed to be done in order to have success. So I think it's more of an excuse if guys start worrying about all that stuff. It's put in place to keep us safe. At the end of the day, that's what matters. And if you keep that in mind, I think it all just kind of goes by the wayside and we're ready to play hockey.